You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Stop, cut the intro. We're not doing this for this show. My name's Seth Draken. This is Mike Poland. It's March 9th, 2017. This is Impact Implosion. We're not doing the usual fanfare for this show. This doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the news afterwards, but let's get this freaking show out of the way, because there is one thing that news, and it happened after the show. All right, we keep getting hyped up. So you already know, people, we're doing this. This show sucked. No way to sugarcoat this.
Yeah.
This gets an F. This is one of the worst shows I have ever seen this company do. I think this may be the worst show.
Maybe.
Other than that one that was incomplete, that was basically just some matches thrown together during the World Title Series. Because I forgot they had one last week on Destination America. Of a full show I have seen, just this. First of all, if you gotta say you're gonna make something great again, as it's proven, you suck. Trump, Darren Young, whatever else, we're gonna make something great. So, we begin with all the legends being shown from the past, all the intros being shown from the past of this company, and then
For 15 years they've waited for this moment.
And I'm like, this moment, and I'm like,
How many moments like this have you had?
yeah, the genesis of Anthem Impact.
Genesis of the beginning of the genesis of Michael McGillicuddy.
I know. That's what this felt like. Basically, then they had their real new intro, and they show each wrestler, but twice or more than once. They show the fucking owl.
You also have Jeff Jarrett's theme in there for some reason. For a minute.
Yeah. The owl upstages the wrestlers in your intro. That's saying something. An owl, by the way, on Twitter that they want you to name. So they have plans for this fucker. Fucking owl.
The Owl is going to win the world title at Slammiversary.
So we get Pope and Josh on commentary as Edwards and Davey Richards are brawling through the crowd. And they're like, have you ever seen these two hate each other, that hit each other this much? And I'm like, in every company they worked at together.
Yep.
And then there's a third seat on commentary as those two go in the back. And Josh is like, why is there a third set on commentary here? This isn't SmackDown. And why is JB coming out? Or why does he have this entrance?
Well, I would be asking the same thing about JB. Why did he have an entrance all of a sudden?
And then JB comes out and he's like, what? This is mine! Mine! My seat! Mine!
like a kid, like a little kid.
So, opener of the new era, talking. Basically, JB reveals he is the new announcer. So we're getting a three-band booth.
Oh, and it gets worse.
And basically, this isn't SmackDown. We don't need 8 announcers.
All we need is someone to be in Tom Phillips'
Precious. The owners want someone new at the table because no one likes Josh, and you have pissed a lot of people off. Someone the fans like. So I have been mentored from day one by Mike Tenay to take over this company. Hello?
Well, good that did him.
Yeah, but someone left WWE. No, correction, someone got fired from WWE, and a couple idiots hired you thinking you were the idea announcer, a Ken doll with no balls. And Matthews is like, oh, you've served under Mike Tenay. Who? Oh, exactly. I served under Jim Ross, and I called WrestleMania.
You called one of the worst WrestleManias ever.
And all these fans, they came here for free, so I don't need to hear from them.
Oh, you're director of social media.
Director of social media. And he's like, Boris, yeah, I know Jim Ross. He thought you were an arrogant prick. I'm joining the booth, and I have some bombs to drop tonight. Then Cody arrives.
Yeah.
And Josh tries to do the too sweet with Cody. Cody basically ignores it, grabs a mic.
Where's Moose?
Where's Moose? And Boris is like, Moose isn't here. And Josh is like, where's Moose? And it's like, you know he's not here. You know he's in Japan. He's in Japan. So basically, security comes out to have Cody leave. And we start, well, actually, no, DCC comes out and Cody leaves.
Yep.
And then this new tag team called Reno Scum comes out with the GFW tag team titles, which they won somehow.
Yeah, boy.
And, I guess Reno Scum wins, gets us a good win, but I could not follow the match. I missed the finish of this because of commentary.
Ah, boy.
Because let me see if I got some of this right. Josh asked, "Who is Gordon Soley?"
Really?
Yes.
Good God.
By the way, DCC have new masks, in case you didn't know.
Yep.
But since they're breaking up soon, you wonder why they wasted money on this. But whatever. And they do a break, and Josh is like, "I do the breaks around here." I'm not kidding you. Josh complained about somebody doing a break other than him.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, JD is also ring announcing for this, for the beginning of the match. Actually, no, he's not. Rockstar Spud's the ring announcer.
Yes,
which they mentioned later. They mentioned later that, Rockstar Spud's doing the ring announcer.
Yes, because Rex is not there for these tapings.
Yeah. So, I guess that's Rockstar Spud's new gig. And they talk about the great new ref shirts, and I'm like, those are SmackDown shirts. You just ripped off the SmackDown refs. Why did you do that?
Originality!
What originality? And at some point, Pope as these two are arguing, Pope has his hands to his face. Like, oh my God.
Why am I here?
Why am I here? What harm did I do to cause this? So, apparently they did a double stomp or something. A finisher. I'm looking at this from a website because I could not follow this. And so Reno Scum won. And DCC afterwards was arguing. And
it was a fluke.
Yeah, Josh talking about it. It was a fluke. And Josh is complaining about things not on his run sheet. It's not on my run sheet. What are you talking about here, this things? And he's like, oh, there's a lot of things you don't know. And I'm like, this is the new Shivani holding up the WCW format to say this isn't part of the show.
Or Joey Styles doing it.
Yeah, God damn it. So Don West has more incredible deals, and please buy this stuff, people. So
buy this shit.
Just get this shit gone with, and they replay the wedding again.
I hate Ollie. I hate Braxton. Ugh.
And then Mackenzie's says, "With me is Maria," and instead it's Sienna who says, "Maria had a nervous breakdown because of these two."
When she really quit, but they don't want to mention that.
Yeah, so kept calling Mackenzie McKenna.
Get the name right.
And said, "Shut up and let her talk." So she threatens Allie that they're going to pay for this. So here comes Braxton and Allie, and Josh is sick of these two from what they did to poor Laurel Van Ness.
Well, I'm sick of Josh, but anyway.
And by the way, there are 3 other wrestlers in DJZ, Marsh Rocket, and Caleb Conley, who I had to think for a minute of who that guy was.
Jobber entrances.
And by the way, they got jobber entrances.
Because God forbid we have time to actually, announce all the other guys.
This was another match where commentary just interrupted.
Although Josh did have the one good line about, should Marsh Rocket really be in the exhibit? He's taller than everybody in there.
This is about no limits. And Josh kept saying,
and if you're going to say that, Sutter is also kind of awkward in that division too, but yeah.
Hey, I was no limits, man. I flew around the ring like that. And I'm like, Josh, you never flew around the ring. That was your issue in Tough Enough. That's what the judges hate about you. You were small, and you didn't do any cruiserweight moves. That was your issue. Somehow you got to the finals to be the final 3, but that was always your issue. They always said that. Dude, you've got to do... You're a small guy. You can't
flip.
You gotta flip. You gotta do these moves. You're not even really a technical wrestler. You have nothing. You're acting like a guy. So JB gets a text, and he's like, "Oh, I got news." And he's like, "What news you got?" And he's like, "I ain't telling you." So Allie interferes for no reason. Just jumps on freaking Marche Rocket for no reason. Josh is like, Braxton should be DQ'd.
Yep.
Although some people are like, oh, you can't DQ people in 4 ways. And I'm like, you can no contest them, or you can say throw that person to the back. So anyways, if she can't be DQ'd, why she do it behind the ref's back?
Oh,
because
was the ref like busy with the other two?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, why'd she do it behind the ref's back? Why'd she need to do that? Wait for the ref to have his back turned to do it.
Is Starter supposed to be the face?
Yeah, he's supposed to be the face. By the way, he pins Rocket with a neck breaker.
Yay.
And Laurel Van Ness comes out looking crazy.
And just points.
What? And just points to you did it!
You
ruined my wedding!
You ruined my wedding.
I will make you pay! Your happiness will not let... Oh no,
Give it a few weeks, she's going to be partying with ODB.
So Sutter and Alley kiss. So we see previews of the Hardys at the train camp, and one of the monkeys is trying to scalp Jeff Hardy, apparently. Or Brother Nero. He's getting his hair pulled hard by the monkeys. He's like, ow, 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 ow. He's even
and they're going to wrestle Smokin' Joe later.
Yeah, the kangaroo, and I'm like, oh, this should be good.
But we'll find out what happens later.
Yeah, we'll find out what happens later. And I'm like, at least the Hardys are on the show. There must be something good. Oh. I wish I could say that. So someone asked about what Allie got fired, but I guess it didn't mean much. She still has her job in Impact, so what was the big deal? Absolutely nothing. Nothing! They didn't explain that about, she got rehired by the company. You know, you do that.
We don't want you to remember that.
Yeah, we want you to remember that it happened. We just don't want you to remember that she fired Allie. So here comes Sienna, looking like she still poached Big Bird.
and she's facing Rachel Ellering.
Who doesn't have a real entrance, and Josh has no idea why she's a second generation wrestler. It's like, you don't know who the Road Warriors are? You've the movie? And I'm like, what?
Shut up, Josh. Go away.
Yes, that is the shut up, Josh moment. And I am screaming at this point.
Wasn't he in WWE when they did the reboot of the World Warriors with Heidenreich and Animal?
They might have. He might have.
Yes.
But God. I am screaming for help
they are?
As this match goes on, because whatever's happening in the ring, these two announcers are making sure to fucking hide it.
Nobody cares about the moves.
Nobody cares about, and Pope even gets to a point where he's like, there's a match, let's focus on the action, please, guys.
Pope's gonna have an aneurysm.
And Josh is like, well, I'm the GOAT. And I'm like, no, you're not the GOAT, but you are a GOAT.
No, he's a jackass, but...
That's what I meant by a GOAT, as in kind of, not the greatest of all time, but a GOAT.
Bah. Oh.
So I'm drinking right now to keep me insane, and it is already at this point that I have finished my. It is already at this point during this match that I have finished my first thing of alcohol. Thankfully, I was only able to drink 2 because I was getting red and I needed to stop. This just. If I was Rachel Ellering, I would never work for this company again.
They buried her.
And Sienna tried. But yeah, they're making Josh do all this forced commentary and burying this match. This match was not about her or any of the ladies. It was about heel Josh. And they're still arguing, and Josh and Borash are arguing like a bunch of spoiled children. By the way, this is the 3rd match of the night. There's one more match to go. I got bad news. There's one more match to go that hasn't been announced yet. So, basically, if you were advertised this show, you got 3 matches. And they're all done in the first hour.
Yay. Wrestling. Yay.
Excuse me for a minute. I need a drink. God damn. What happened next?
Was it the Bruce Pritchard segment?
Yeah. It was the Bruce Pritchard coming out, and Josh is like, who's this old guy?
Brother Love. He worked.
And Bruce continues to shill his website and podcast. He does that.
I am not whatever his podcast. He made some pun on his podcast.
Yeah. So he's like, this company isn't what it should be. This company was poised for greatness. It was almost there. And I was like,
no.
When? When? You weren't there when it was almost there.
It was almost there.
But it never happened. So it was on the cusp of greatness. And I was like, no. So he's like, TNA is dead. New owners, new management, new name, Impact.
Shit.
There will be changes because people here have achieved greatness. So they want people who have achieved greatness. And I'm like, they want people who achieve greatness now, not back then. Unless you're WCW, that's who they want. That would be WCW of people who achieved greatness in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So basically he puts his resume here. I was there for Hulkamania, brother, for when Steve Austin was running wild.
No.
Brother, that was Hulkamania running wild. Steve Austin was kicking ass.
When Steve Austin opened his first can of whoop ass, he was there. That's what he said.
Oh yeah, okay. He said Hulkamania running wild. Steve Austin opened his first can of whoop ass for The Rock. Do you smell what he's cooking? And I saw John Cena before you could, and I'm like,
stop it.
So he knows how to make wrestling great and how to make it Impact.
Except he doesn't make any of those things great.
So yes, he wants the champ to come out.
The great Bobby Lashley.
The great Franklin, who Josh credits with giving the name Walking Armageddon. I like my name, that turtle, better.
Franklin.
So, by the way, as Franklin comes out, there might be one thing you notice. Franklin has the TNA belt.
Yep.
You could afford new masks for the DCC, but not new belts for your champion? Seriously?
Brilliant.
Basically, he is a fountain of misinformation, Bruce Pritchard. And then Bruce Pritchard does something that, as much as I like Franklin, come the fuck on. He compared Franklin to LeBron James and Tiger Woods.
No, they play legitimate sports.
Not just that. Those are real athletes who transcended things.
Bobby Lashley did not.
Franklin, as much as I love the guy, he is not there. He is not at that level. There's a level, and he ain't it. So here comes El Patron, and yes, they did edit the entrance video so it doesn't say De Patron. We have fucking proof that it did say De Patron when he came out. So there's camera footage of it saying that. So Josh is like, El Patron is trending on Twitter, and I'm like, oh my god. You have something actually trending on Twitter, which is hashtag Impact on Pop, and you still have to freaking lie? What? What is wrong with you? So Alberto says, you know what? You've beaten all these great guys. Franklin first says, you better, like I've done everyone else, you better not think about doing what you're doing. And so, by the way, Josh, make sure to mention some more WWE names a few more times. Or guys that were past, and stuff. So they've mentioned WWE more times than they've mentioned Impact Wrestling, someone noticed.
You don't say.
So Pero does his, shut up, Pero. You haven't beaten me yet. So, and he's like, I want you. So here comes EC3 coming out. Not going to ever mention the fact that last time we saw him, he got his ass kicked by BCC. Never going to get revenge on those guys. So instead, he decides to walk, which is great continuity, by the way.
Storytelling.
Great storytelling. So EC3 says that Patron doesn't get to walk in here and demand a title shot the first time he gets here.
Yes, he
and
does.
he wants the shot instead because he's put the company on his back and stuff.
And Lashley says, I've already beaten you.
I've already beaten you. Go to the back of the line. Patron, if you want some, and he's about to say, and he's like, then you just have to ask. So yeah, just ask for one.
EC3 has to stand in the
Pritchard,
back.
Pritchard makes the match. And EC3 just looks so like a third wheel here. Like, everyone's ignored.
Why am I here?
Why am I here? So we get more arguing from Borash and Matthews. More. We gotta have more of this shit.
Although, if they keep doing this Well, EC3 that could lead to.
JB says, has a phone call, and he says, there will be a legend here tonight who has never been here before, has never been in the Impact Zone before.
And he's coming out next.
So, oh yeah, Alberto did rip off Daniel Bryan's C thing. Yes,
he's been doing that, though.
Yeah, he has. He has been doing that. So, it was Garrett Kidney, by the way, who was the Voices of Wrestling fan who quit.
I quit the show.
He's like, done, I can't do this.
I can't do this anymore.
Mackenzie is with Eddie and asked if Eddie expected all this, and of course he says, no, I didn't. I didn't expect any of this. I didn't expect Davey to stoop so low, and Angelina gets offended by this. Low? How dare you say low? You are the one who forgot about Davey, who is now called the Lone Wolf.
Huh.
By the way, the American Wolf, Lone Wolf, I guess we're coming up with nicknames for him, and slaps him. And Eddie says...
Why does Davey's wife hit harder than he does?
He says, by the way, that's false. You know this. If Davey hits you, you'd be out, Eddie. So, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. We know that's false. We've seen it. So, Eddie has not been denying any of these accusations that she made. That
you're supposed to be the babyface, and you're not saying anything.
No, yeah, but you're not saying anything. Are we supposed to believe the heel Angelina here that he forgot about? He didn't come to his friend. He didn't visit him in the hospital. He basically ignored him. So Josh says, you know what? This show wouldn't go on without me. I'm here, still here. And he's like, whatever. And so here comes Cody again. And Cody's like, he has his GFW belt, by the way. So he's like, where's Moose? Or he's like, you know Moose is not here. He's in Japan. Is he in Japan? He's in Japan. He's like, I'm not going to leave this ring. I'm going to go in this ring. He sits down and says, I'm not going to leave this ring until Moose gets here.
He's going to be there a while.
Then he leaves the ring, by the way. Yeah, does the one thing he said he wasn't going to do, leave the ring. No commercial break.
I'm going to leave the ring.
Then we saw a program of why Franklin says he's going to make Impact great. He says, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to destroy everyone. Going to weed out the weak. And here comes the legend, Dutch Mantel. Here's the problem. Well, Dutch Mantel has probably never been in front of the crowd. He was backstage and in creative for years. And he even mentioned this, that he used to help run this company. He used to work here. So, he's been here. And then he admits, I'm Zeb. Oh, wait. I used to be Zeb Coulter in an alternate universe.
Boo. Boo.
You know, Impact, you should stop mentioning this alternate universe. And again, with the burial of past people, past ownership, and bringing up pictures. Because we need showing AJ Styles.
Hey, remember when these guys used to be here?
Remember when Samoa Joe used to be here? Remember when Sting used to be here? Remember when Scott Steiner used to be here?
Kevin Nash, Booker T, Kurt Angle.
Names you forgot to mention. Mark Andrews. TJ Perkins.
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley. Who else was here? Who else? Oh, Rikishi. Christian. That's a
Chris
big
Harris.
one. Forgetting that Christian.
He said Christian.
And he also mentioned Bobby Roode. The It Factor. MVP.
Loki.
There's so many.
Christopher Daniels.
No. Yeah.
We could go on all night.
We could go on all night about this. We're all here, but they all drifted away and they left due to bad leadership. And he said, but the one thing they never expected was the fans to leave, and they left.
Really? You never expected the fans to leave?
No, they probably did. That's why they left.
For years.
They've been saying, man, these fans have been gone for a while. Well, might well get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Well, we're not getting paid. Oh, by the way, they forget to mention that. It's due to bad leadership, and that was bad when the fans left. So, hey guys, we used to be cool and people liked us at once. But but we alienated all that great talent and fans, and now we suck. Please keep watching. We'll try not to suck from now on.
Don't turn the channel.
Well, don't turn the channel. We'll try not to suck from now on.
Well, you're doing a hell of a job.
That's all this felt. And
doing
then,
a hell of a job.
To basically end this, he says the fans are now the boss now, because he works for them, and stand up. I want everyone to stand up. By the way, he can't stand up.
Ironic.
Sadly. No, he couldn't stand up. It's sad, but he can't. So stand up, put your hand over your heart, and say, "We, the people, will make Impact great." Excuse me, but no middle fingers for that, and I'm sure WWE will be seeing you in court for the "We the People" thing.
Which they stole from the Constitution, but, you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they may not see you in court. So this is basically 1999 mid-2000 Nitro. Promoting the other company, saying, "Oh, we sucked in the past, but now we're going to be good.
Yeah,
This company sucked. This company sucked. We're going to make Impact great again."
Yes.
And I basically had a bunch of past stuff. You left. The paying fans left. Oh, by the way, yeah, that. The paying fans left. You all bought your heart.
Frickin' fans pay.
Yeah. Josh basically mentioned all these fans get in for free.
Unless you were on the road doing pay-per-views, which
you did
once in a great while.
Yeah, you did. So yeah, So here we go. The fun. This message of this tonight's Impact. The company was built on great wrestling, but let's just talk about it instead of letting it happen. Oh, and now it's the fun, supposedly fun part. Supposed to be the Hardy and Smokin' Joe time.
Oh boy.
Fighting Smokin' Joe. And, oh man, I'm going to miss Smokin' Joe. He was hilarious in this whole thing. They were training with him. He was kicking him and stuff. Matt was like, both Matt and Jeff were on their sides trying to protect their knees and stuff because kangaroos kick your knees out. They'll do it. And yeah, they're like, handicap match. And Smokin' Joe's looking at both of them like, huh? So they then get a premonition that they need to teleport. So they do so. But then we go to the Impact Zone where Decay teleports as well. And Decay says, "We have the tag titles now. The Broken Hardys have been defeated, obsolete, and decayed."
What the hell happened to the Hardys?
So yeah, they basically died on their way to another planet. Or went to another company.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, Broken Matt went on Twitter. "What is this chicanery? No being can teleport without being in direct contact with the incomparable Vanguard 1, Anthem Owlman. We will show what exactly happened."
No, you won't.
So yeah, Borash comes in the ring. By the way, yeah, Rockstar. Sometimes Borash does the introductions too. So that's kind of a mess. So Borash announced that on July 2nd, we will be having our anniversary.
Which means they're going to tape at least 3 months of 2.5 months worth of television.
Josh, by the way, JB, your anniversary was in June, not in July.
Live on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That nobody's going to buy.
So you might as well run infomercials of Raw and SmackDown with these two talking, with JB basically burying. And he's doing that. He's basically like, this guy sucks. This guy sucks. So, main event time.
Oh boy. Probably
the best match of the night, which is actually, I cannot say there is a best match of the night. You know what? For the way it entertained me, Smokin' Joe versus the Hardys. Even though that had no ending and it was only like a few minute. That was the most fun I had, was that match. So anyway, Franklin versus Alberto El Patron. Yeah, I'm going to still do the El Patron thing because you all fucked up. Anyway, Franklin missed with a spear. He goes for a clothesline at one point and hits the referee. Then El Patron goes for a super kick, hits another referee. We basically get the armbar, which doesn't work. Does double foot stomp, doesn't work. Counters. Franklin hits a spine buster. Oh, that was before the other ref bump. Franklin brings the belt to the ring, but super kick by Dave Patron, and Dave Patron hits him with the belt. So he goes for the cover. Second referee gets up. So I guess a super kick was more powerful than a clothesline. Oh, by the way, EC3's comes out to watch this for no reason. Just standing there. And counts to 3. Dave Patron's the new TNA Impact World Champion.
Yep.
So he's celebrating. This main event was a failure. To quote Zonka from 411 Mania, as a main event, this was a failure. It was slow, uninspired, labored, and had no energy to it. For their big reboot show, you'd think that you'd want the best match possible. Not a main event out of the Jarrett NWA title era. Filled with ref bumps and faux enthusiasm from the commentary, goofs claiming that this was a classic. This was a complete comedy of errors and an embarrassment. By the way, he also said, fuck this stupid shit.
Huh.
Post-match, the refs argue, agents arrive, and we get drama as to people wondering what happened. Freaking Matthews is being right, like, Franklin got screwed. And meanwhile, Josh, he's like, the right was happened. And Pope, from his days is like, dude, he took advantage. Whatever. Yeah, Pope's kind of knows this, but JB is like, oh, he did the right thing. And then they did something after the show. Then they did a backstage where Pritchard's like with Del Rio. Well, by the way, this was after the show on TV, so you had to go online and find this part, which I so happened to do. Pritchard goes to Dave Patron and Beast's like, this is not how you want to win. Come on, this is not how you win. He's like, fuck you, I won. Basically, that's all it is. Fuck you, I won. I'm world champion. I'm supposed to be the babyface, but I'm acting like a complete douchebag heel.
Yay, booking.
Hey, so I guess the one news I gotta really so that's how that ends. But I guess I gotta mention the real news. There were some segments that knocked the previous regime, and this pissed off a number of wrestlers who had been here. And one of them who actually went and confronted Jeff Jarrett about it, but it didn't get ugly ever, was Eli Drake. He's like, dude, you're taking all these pot shots. They're unfair. It's not a shot at management, it's a shot at everyone who'd been working here for the past few months. We've been trying to persevere before before Anthem bought the company, despite not knowing if and when it would fall apart, and whether they would get the money they were owed. There's nothing wrong with our work, and certainly they didn't think the product sucked.
Nope.
But the message in the segments ruffled their feathers, and he spoke to both of them. He basically said, dude, you guys are burying us as well. And you know what? He was absolutely right.
Yep.
They were burying the whole thing, not just the badass stuff like that. And their actions were burying the talent. Having guys who basically just come in, win, like Dave Patron, even though it's a wacky, screwy finish that basically seems coming out of the Vince Russo playbook, or Reno Scum winning. This was just so. Bottom line, this was not a good show.
Nope.
This just pissed. I'm going to give this an F again. I got to mention that again, that this was just bad. And now these people are getting paid per taping date, not per episode. So they're not even getting really paid as well. And they're going to have to get 10% of their indie bookings for this company. Just why TNA? Why Impact? I can't call it TNA anymore. But why Impact? Why you got to do this? You're big.
Why you got to be like that?
Why you got to fuck everyone else? Just God.
More low morale.
The morale must be low after seeing this, because just can't watch this and go, oh, morale's high because of this new changes. I'm like, you buried us.
At least can't believably say it.
Hey, remember this company was great at some point? So forget the past, but remember some of the past. We're going to pick and choose which parts to remember and which parts you should completely forget. Because
revisionist history.
I'm sorry. Even people in TNA Mecca hated this show. And the late Chris Regal, who ran that site, I think he would have hated this show if he had seen it.
Yep.
I'm just presuming, and I don't want to make presumptions on that because he may have liked this. Who knows? There are some dumb people online who actually like this show.
Oh, boy.
Who thought this show was electric and stuff, which last word I'd use for this show.
So you like bad commentary and burying other people.
Yeah. Just, this was bad. I cannot explain enough that you need to not watch this show, people. And Steve's going to sadly watch it. Stevie J is sadly going to watch it now.
Oh, boy.
Don't say it didn't warn you. So, Mike, do you have anything to sell?
Limitless Wrestling, March 17th, Hysteria, featuring a turf war involving Freelance Wrestling against 4 from Limitless Wrestling. Also on the card, we have Beta Scott against Taylor Hendricks, Ace Herrero against Keith Lee, and in the main event, it's Matt Sydal and Ricochet, plus much more. And that's all I have.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to be at a horror convention. Some of the people you may know there are Lita, Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, J.J. Dillon, and Barry Windham will be there.